Welcome back, everyone. The crisis over the control of local government secretariats in Osun State has worsened as 8 persons, including a local government chairman, have been killed and scores injured as elected local government officials on the platform of the All Progressives Congress APC assumed office at the various council secretariats. Meanwhile, the All Progressives Congress in Osun State has withdrawn from the local government election scheduled for Saturday, February 22nd. The APC says it would not participate due to the February 10 Court of Appeal judgment, which reinstated its chairman and councillors. On the other hand, the Osun State government has vowed to proceed with elections despite APC's withdrawal. Tonight, let's get some insights into state independent electoral commissions and the modalities deployed for local government elections in Nigeria, as well as assessing the role of the political executives of the states in the determination of representation of the local government level in Nigeria. Joining me for this conversation is Akingbolu, a legal practitioner. Giving it to you, Mr. Akingbolu. Thank you so much for joining us on Politics Tonight. Happy New Year to you. It's good to see you again.
I have to say that.
What is happening in Osun State?
Well, you know, I will not describe it in my own words. I will describe it in the words of the Attorney General of the Federation, Mr. Latif Fagbemi, who said that removal of democratically elected local government chairman is treason. You understand? And we know what treason means: forceful overthrow of power of an elected official. So if you look at it very well, although you may not blame the Osun State governor, because he did not start the problem. The problem did not start with him anyway. But now, with the recent Supreme Court judgment, it is very clear. Even when you look at Section 7, Section 8 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria read together, you will find out that it said that the governance of the local governments in Nigeria shall be democratically guaranteed. In other words, all this interim government, interim chairman, caretaker committee. In fact, if we have good laws in Nigeria, good laws in Nigeria, or the corruption fighting agencies in Nigeria, if they up their game very well, rarely any governor of Nigeria will not stay in good laws,
or people do not just respect the rule of law.
It's just the governors, under the present constitution that we have, the governors are like the alpha and omega. They have too much power. They are wide scope of power, and they misuse this power. Because of this, they have stifled the operation of the local government. While I know that the federal government, the president of Nigeria, of the federal government of Nigeria, cannot scrap or cannot suspend any governor except where there is a state of emergency, which is procedural and constitutional in some instances. Except that one, no president can wake up and say, I am cancelling or I am suspending a state governor that has been elected for 4 years. But this is what the governors have been doing over the years. I have seen a state where they only run local government administration for 6 months. Putting interim, chairman, all these things are illegal. They take the allocations of the local government to run the affairs of state. Some governors, allegedly take this money and, use it in kind of fulfillment of loan. You understand? Borrowed on behalf of the state. All these are illegal activities. So, and when the Supreme Court decision came, we have a president who says, or who believes in the fact that, the 3 tiers of government recognized and established by the Constitution must be maintained and, sustained. And because of this, the Attorney General challenged the illegalities of the governors and the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court, looked into the matter and came to, a decision that you cannot just run the local government affairs the way you want it. There are 3 tiers of government in Nigeria, and once they are democratically elected, you can't just sack them.
But how peculiar is the situation going on in Osun State at the moment? Reportedly, we've lost 8 persons, and the Osun State chapter of the NLC has directed its members working in local government areas to withdraw their services. APC has also pulled out of the Saturday local government election. Yes, what does this mean?
What we are saying is it's an imbroglio. You understand? You are having a kind of, serious, political crisis is brewing. And I want to charge the Inspector General of Police. The president also must rise up to the occasion, and the governor of Osun also must rise up to the occasion and ensure that lawlessness is not allowed to be the order of the day, because the APC on one hand is saying we have been elected for a number of years and we have not served out our terms and we must complete our term. Now the governor on the other hand is saying we have slated election to hold this Saturday and it must go on. And the Court of Appeal has given a judgment reinstating the APC chairman, and that was on that ground, the APC chairman, they are looking for a way to say, okay, we are coming in line with the judgment of the court. We are in a democracy. We are not in a banana republic. So they are acting based on the judgment of the Court of Appeal. However, the governor on the other hand is saying, oh, we have slated election for Saturday. It's going to cause a lot of chaos. And the two parties have to be very careful. The APC has to be very careful. The government of Osun State has to be very careful because already we have lost 6 citizens of Nigeria. No political office is worth shedding of blood of any innocent Nigeria. It is too bad and it is too sad.
What is the legal implication of this? Because the Osun State government is saying the CTC of the appeal court judgment clearly shows that the appeal court did not treat the merits of the case that would have made the judgment obtained by the APP, which equally nullifies the yes or no local government election, but only treated the plenary issue of whether the originating process filed by the PDP was competent or otherwise, which is, according to them, mere technicality. What is the legal implication of all of this? Yeah,
the legal implication of this is that these people were elected. The question to be asked is, were they elected or they were not elected? If the answer is yes, then they have what they call security of tenure. You cannot just sack them the way you sack a mere civil servant. The people have voted for them. The people of Osun remains the same. Ayedade local government remains the same. Iwo local government remains the same, and so on and so forth. You cannot say because of this, the fact that one governor belonged to one political party and he had left, and you are now coming here, or you have now come in and you say you throw away the baby and the bathwater. It's not possible because government is a continuum. It has to be, and you can't change this thing. It is very clear. Except the electorate recall the chairman, you cannot just sack them. This is just the truth of the matter. It does not matter whether it is PDP. Although even some APC states are doing the same thing until the judgment of the Supreme Court came. Many APC state government, they do not do it. Most of the governors, I have known governors who have served 2 terms. They will not conduct a single election, but when it's remaining 2 months for them to leave office after they have 8 years, they will conduct election, a kangaroo election, what they call selection. They call it an election. We have SIEC. That is the problem. The SIEC, State Independent Electoral Commission, that is guaranteed by the Constitution or that is established by the Constitution, is another problem that we have.
We'll get to SIEC and all of those challenges in a minute, but let's be clear. What you're saying now is, if that local government election holds on Saturday, Osun State, directly, Osun State is disregarding the appeal court judgment.
It is disregarding the appeal court judgment because you see, if they are saying, oh, it is the technicality that was treated, even if the technicality has been treated, what happens to the tenure of the local government chairman and the councillors that have been elected? So this is not technicality because they were voted into power for a number of years. Have they served out that time? If they have not served it, then they are still in office. Therefore, conducting another election will be a kind of brigandage. It will be illegal. It will be unconstitutional. It will be null and void because the offices are not vacant. That is the problem. So if the offices are not vacant, the offices of the chairman of the local government are not vacant, the offices of the councillors of the local governments are not vacant, then upon what basis will you now have an election? Upon a subsisting tenure. That is why the Attorney General of the Federation call it treason.
You know, there are those asking the federal government to declare a state of emergency in Osun State. Is this necessary?
It is not necessary. It can cause more chaos. I think government, in Nigeria, the presidents are want to declare state of emergency. They don't just declare it. It's a last resort. Until when there is a total breakdown of law and order, they rarely declare state of emergency. Even you see under Jonathan, he brought another technique, which is a kind of pseudo state of emergency. The governors remain, only some part of the powers were suspended. But in a complete state of emergency, you have to suspend all the executive powers, the legislative powers, everything. It's only judicial power that will be in existence. If you are declaring state of emergency in Osun, it will be misinterpreted, and I think it is not even just, it will not be fair to the people, because the governor also has been elected for 4 years, and he has just served out 2 years. So I think it will be improper for a state of emergency to be declared.
So let's talk about SEC and all of the challenges. What exactly is wrong with the State Independent Electoral Commission holding or conducting a credible local government election? In the whole country today, I can tell you there is no state SEC that is doing the job of a SEC. You know, when it's a State Independent Electoral Commission, yes, it was established by the Constitution as a state organ to conduct local government election. But what have we had over the years? In fact, what they do is just a kind of patching work. They won't follow the law. That is one of the reasons why I am afraid that if we have a state police in Nigeria, there may be very serious problem, because the governors pocket the State Independent Electoral Commission. You will see that in every state where APC is ruling, you will see all the local government chairmen, they will clinch all the seats. And all the, what they call it, councillorship seats, they will clean everything. It is unfortunate. Like places like Lagos now, we have so many councillors, and all of them, you will not see a single one being won by a Labour Party candidate, or being won by a PDP candidate, or by NNPP candidate. Does it mean that they are so popular? Throughout the country, in any state being ruled by ABGA, all the state chairmen, the local government chairmen, all the councillors of the wards, they will be from ABGA. Labour Party, in any state ruled by Labour, the same thing. Any state ruled by APC, the same thing. The same thing it is in Osun. So maybe this is one of the argument of the governor of Osun, but then two wrongs does not make a right. Let us clear the road and ensure that this democracy is not threatened in any way. Has that stopped local governments from functioning effectively in this part of the world?
You said what?
Has that stopped local government from functioning effectively in this part?
It does not even allow the local government to function at all. As of today, it's only in Lagos that you can see a similarity of a functional local government. Until recently in Ekiti State, under the present governor Yebanji, he allows the local government, free hand to operate. Now, if you go to some other states, they don't allow them. Even the governor of Ondo State, yesterday was saying that despite the Supreme Court judgment, that the SCDAs have come to stay. Lagos State have operated SCDA since 2003 or thereabout, and they are still in existence. We have 20 local government recognized by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Although there are indications that the Lagos State government is willing to let them go. They are even calling them maybe something administrative area or something. But whichever name you call it, because if you have 30 local government in the state, for instance, the chairman of those 30 local government have signed for the allocation of that local government, and you are now dividing it into development areas which you call SCDA. If there is question as to accountability from EFCC or ICPC, or from police or anybody, who answers the question? The original local government chairman. Meanwhile, they share the money with the SCDA. So it has no basis. EFCC and ICPC have spoken yesterday and said the fact that you have autonomy at the local government level does not mean you have free access to spend money anyhow. So they should be ready to be guests to ICPC or EFCC, as the case may be, whenever the time arises, if they don't manage the account of the local government very well. But I can tell you, development have been stifled, have been seriously eroded, because they have even taken it off track because of non-functionality of the local government in Nigeria. Because all the trunk C roads, there are some other developmental projects that the local government could embark on. But they cannot do it because the governors is taking the allocation. And what have the governors done? What they have done is this: they ensure that people who are less, who are not even competent at all. 90% of the people they they have to man the local government, they are illiterate. We have pounded yam sellers in some states. They will not even understand what it means. I have seen situations that a local government chairman cannot even read a welcome address, and he's a local government chairman. He doesn't have a school cert, he doesn't have even first school living certificate with primary six. He can't even speak, you know, simple and correct English. But you make him the chairman. This man is ordinarily not competent to be a councillor. So tendencies are that whatever you ask him to do, he will do it. So it's just like when you have promoted a primary 3-student pupil to the university level all overnight. So whatever, how will it pass? He will fail.
And interestingly also, Anambra just had its local government election after 10 years. I wonder what, I mean, the impact that would have on governance in the state. But I want you to evaluate the impact of electoral context at the local government level on the political development of Nigeria. Is it really serving its purpose?
The local government that we have in Nigeria, we have pseudo-local government administration, or as a third tier of government, is only existing in theory. Because when you look at it very well, the governors, for whatever reasons best known to them, they don't want the local government to even function. They will even tell you that no, all of them are not happy. There's a particular governor in the southwest. It only remains for him to. There's no extent he has not gone. There's nothing he has not said against the president, against the APC-led government or whatever, because of the fact that they said local government must be independent. You can see the judgment has been passed since, I think, July up till now, July 12 or 11, up till now. There is no state, there is no local government that can come out and say, I am receiving my money fully. You understand? Without any control from the governors. It's not supposed to be. As a third tier of government, let them breathe. If they are not performing, then people will have to call them to question. Even under the Constitution. The Constitution makes it very clear and mandatory that there shall be a joint account. That joint account, state government is supposed to drop some money there, federal government is supposed to drop some money there for the advantage, for the utilization of the local government council. But the federal government is dropping money, state government is not dropping anything, they are even still taking the one dropped by the federal government. You understand? It's an antithetical kind of thing. The governors in Nigeria, honestly, they are too powerful. I think there must be a constitutional, amendment to at least, dress down some of their powers, or at least in terms of this local government thing, they shouldn't have power in respect of that. Yeah, we are developing. You understand? At the time we have doctrine of necessity, the provision is now one way or the other. It's in the Constitution. We have the issue of when one term. If you serve one term and the holder of the office dies, if you are taking over, you serve the term again, and you now do another 2 terms. Now we have an example of, we have an amendment. The governor of Ondo State now, once he finishes this term, is not coming again. He has finished the unexpired tenure of Akingbolu, which is about 1 year and few months. Now he's doing 4 years alone and he's going home. Under the old, before, he will do it again. That will make him to have spent more than 8 years. You understand? Because he didn't spend complete 2 terms. So we are developing. So from one mistake, you learn. From one mistake, you learn. This democracy is a foreign concept and we're still learning. But
if it's clear that we cannot continue this way, especially with the Supreme Court judgment, how do we redefine local government elections in Nigeria?
No, I think the federal government is doing something. We have to praise the president in this regard. He's committed to democratic development in this regard, at least as far as the, recognized tiers of governments are concerned. Now, he is proposing local government service commission, electoral service commission. We have National Electoral Service Commission, National Electoral, INEC, Independent National Electoral Commission. He wants to establish local government electoral service commission who will be conducting an election.
To reform or abolish?
It's to be abolished completely. Do you understand? Because it's a state apparatus, it's a state agency. Because of this, the governors have control over them. That is why if the police comes, is going to bring a lot of problems, because even the Commissioner of Police is still taking directive apparently from the Inspector General of Police. The state governors still have some power, some control. They still exert some control over the Commissioner of Police. In the pseudo way, they say, oh, it's subservient to the Disney, but it's not so. They say constitutionally, yes, they are the chief security officer of the state. The chairman of the local government is the chief security officer of the local government. However, in operation, the commissioners of police, they listen to the governor more than they listen to the IG in some situations. You understand? Except when there are some political interests involved that it can clash. Otherwise, it will be. So if you allow CIEC to continue to conduct election in Nigeria, you will never see election into local government administration. You will be seeing selections. And that's what has been happening since 2003. In 1999 to 2003 or 2002, we got it right, because the local government administration was manned by democratically elected local government officials. Unfortunately, it was eroded. We don't even know how the concept came. All the governors were to spend for 4 years. The president was to spend 4 years. All of a sudden, they brought the concept and said the chairman of the local government will be spending 3 years. It's not in the constitution so. But the governors ganged up against the 774 local government in Nigeria in 2002 and ensured that they aborted that 4-year term. So that was the beginning of the local government problem.
But really, in a bid to restructure or modernize local government administrations in Nigeria, where do we begin? Yeah,
first of all, that autonomy. Not only in terms of, not by name. Autonomy, fiscal autonomy first. If they have fiscal autonomy, they will be able to do their thing. And how we will begin is by scrapping all state independent electoral commissions should be scrapped. And they should put in place, enduring institution that is guided, that is saddled with the responsibility, and they are under the control of the federal government. This will make it possible for pluralistic, leadership, in the sense that PDP will win some seats, APC will win some seats, Labour Party will win some seats, NNPP and some other political parties will win some seats. When you see it happening like this, it will be impossible. Not only it will be impossible for any governor to take the money that does not belong to. If the chairman of local government A is from PDP and you are an APC governor, it will be impossible for you to take the money of that local government and pocket it. But because you have all your boys to man the local government, whatever you tell them is what they will say.
But for those who say, these challenges are institutional and stems from the gaps between constitutional provisions and actual practice by the political elites, is this also so because there have been too much concentration of power at the federal and perhaps state levels?
Yeah, in this case, it is too much concentration of power in should I say in the governor? In fact, they arrogated the power to themselves, because the section 7 and 8 read together were very clear. They are very clear that the democratically elected, the local government administration shall be democratically, governed. So if you are not allowing that to happen, why will you allege that the federal government has too much power? It is not so. Because even in the judgment of the Supreme Court, they made it very clear that, well, even when you look at section 165 or 162.5 or so, that, if you are to divert the money, to pay the money from the federation account to the local government, that it has to pass through the state. But that if the state is not dropping the money, what do you expect? There must be a way of paying the money to the direct beneficiary. The money ought to pass through the state government to the local government. But the state governments are not allowing the money to get to the ultimate beneficiary, which is the local government. Then that is why the Supreme Court said, pay the money directly to the local government administrators or chairmen, which will make it better.
My final question would be, where do we go from here? Because while the local government system is expected to promote and sustain development at the grassroots level, there has been so much abuse. This has been our conversation for the past 20-30 minutes. Abuse of the local government systems across the country, mainly by political actors and players. How do we check this? Pending the time where we begin to talk about the local government autonomy and what the Supreme Court had said.
Well, where we cannot be talking about political government autonomy, whether to be or not to be again, because the Supreme Court is the final court of the land, and it has spoken, and nothing can change that. It's only the implementation. The government said, the federal government said there will be 3 months window. But now it's almost close to a year. It's close to a year now. Nothing has happened. So I think the federal government should muster more muscle. Yeah, they are playing their games. You understand? They are holding the government of the federation by the jugular, and they are frustrating the implementation of that judgment of the Supreme Court. I think it is high time the federal government stood up to its duties and ensure that this judgment is implemented. That is the first place to start with. Because if the money is not paid to the governors at all, don't say they should route the money. They shouldn't route the money through them. They should pay directly to the local government. By the time that happens, then it will be over for them. Once the money is going to the people directly, that will be over. But then they should first of all establish a commission or a body, saddled with the responsibility of conducting local government elections, that will not be under the state governors anymore. As long as it remains under the state governors, this thing, it means you have changed the wine, you have not changed the skin, or you have changed the skin, you have not changed the wine. The result will still be catastrophic.
All right, Mr. Akingbolu, let me say a big thank you to you for coming on Politics Tonight. It was important to have that conversation with you. Thank you so much for joining us on the program.
Thank you.
Thank you. And let's take a break, and when we return our focus to power generation as government reviews new plans for the sector. Please stay with us, everyone.